That's
Yeah,
the way I understand it.
basically the problem with one room in the kindergarten room is there are 2 units of this window type wall in one classroom that create the problem. These window type walls are dilapidating, glass is inefficient, and that's part of our, needs analysis that we went through is defining all of that needs to be addressed, and that has been a problem since the old heating system, the new heating system, anything that's been there has always been an issue. You just can't get enough heat in one room to keep up with the cold air that's coming through the wall system that's existing.
I think Dale has his hand up.
My question was answered.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I want to know where you plan on putting the parking, the setbacks and stuff off the road and stuff, for the new church and stuff. Are we going to be playground left at the time you're done with the parking?
Yes. I mean, you can see, really, this is all of your playground area is really all here. Moving this way kind of gets into that short hill that's back here, and we'll have to do some regrading to do that. And adding these 2 classrooms really doesn't impact your playground area. You actually have a lot of space for that, so we wouldn't really have to move anything. It really doesn't, this particular concept doesn't really impact that in any negative way. Yes?
I'm still wondering though, how much property do we have, I mean, on the first street to come in to the north, we're going to move that road right to the property line then?
That's what this particular scheme looks at. Again, how the final design may look at the end would be completely different from this. So this really isn't a design, more than a concept.
I mean, what is the current setback off the street for building on?
We have about 30 feet.
Pardon?
About 30 feet.
Was there one over here somewhere?
I just had a quick question. If we did renovations to schools, are we talking about something that would keep us up to date and good to go for 30 years? Is that what we're saying?
Yes, that would be the planning horizon, and that's the improvements would look at keeping the building functional for 30 years without having to have another major.
Taking care of problems that are going right now.
Those problems and addressing, potential technology issues and educational issues and adding program spaces that you don't have, anticipating maybe an increase in students, that kind of thing.
Everyone's concerned about money and how we're going to pay for it, and my thought is that these numbers you're giving us as a quote for 2010, are those numbers and quotes for cost going to still be the same in 2012 or 2020?
Well, obviously not in 2020. I think we would be, fairly reasonable in 2011, pushing in 2012, but not much beyond that. If you push beyond that, we would really need to update the cost.
For the school renovation, does that include bathrooms at the far end where there'd be the art and science room?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
For the school renovation?
Yes.
Did that include bathrooms at the far end?
It does not, and this particular scheme does not add any additional restrooms at that end of the school.
I was curious about the renovation to the church. Did you ever look into just making an adjustment for handicapped people to come now without building on this big fancy part, just to see if we can get more people to come to church?
Actually, we did not. We looked at a 30-year planning horizon, and that's what our solution looked at.
Maybe before we start talking money on a church, maybe we should try and come up with ideas to get more people into church, to bring money into the church. Because we have quite a few communicant members, I understand, in this church, and maybe a
some, but I think they could probably give more. But we definitely need to get more people into church.
Well, I think that's an ongoing concern with our council, with, with the pastors, with everyone, is that we really would like to see more people come into church. And we are constantly working on the elders board to reach out and encourage people that are already our members to come to church. And also we have an outreach board that also reaches out into the community to bring non-church people into our congregation. So that is something we are looking at on a continuing basis.
Let me add to that a little bit. That subject comes up a lot, and it's like, okay, what is the church doing to get these people in? Who's the church? It's all of us, isn't it? And so I think each one of us asks, what am I doing to encourage others whom I know are not coming, whether they be family members or friends or other ones, instead of just looking for me. Sometimes I think we look at a certain group where you got to get them in. I think the question all of us have to really look at is, what am I doing to encourage others about the importance of being here in church for worship? If we have, 70, 80 people here, if each one of us every week would encourage one member, look how many people we're reaching, compared to maybe a handful of people trying to go out and to do that. And so that's a responsibility we all have, and we can all do that to encourage others that we meet on the street, and our members' family. We all know people like that. What are we doing to encourage them about the importance of being here for worship?
That was a very good point. It was also a very good comment to me.
Yes.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, I think that that same thing goes for voting for a project that does cost money. I think everybody needs to look at what they can give, and then their vote should be according to that. If I need a new car, I cannot expect God to bless me to have money through a payment program for me to afford that car. And I think the same thing goes when we look at a building project. We need to look at not that we're going to decide something and the Lord is going to bless us, but that the Lord only gives us the ability to make prudent, wise decisions, and sometimes discretion is part of that.
Well, I can answer that a little bit too. I guess I went through a building project down in Sunbury. We had it on the church down there, and many of these same concerns came up down there. And we did do some long-range planning on how we're going to get to the goal of raising the funds for this. But we really did put it in the Lord's hands. We really did let the Lord bless us in the ways He did, and it was surprising how things turned out. It really was. He did bless us richly.
Another question about the plans that you showed. The $3 million, the estimate on the addition to this building, did that include then the cost of the insulation and